The state of New Jersey just passed a new concealed carry law which defies the Supreme Court's recent ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump in this video, if you think states like New Jersey need to stop violating the Second Amendment, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to one of the main supporters of this channel, which is USCCA. Through your membership, you get training, education, and self-defense liability protection. So if you carry a firearm, I highly recommend you take a look into USCCA, and I'll put a link to them down in the details section. As I mentioned in the intro, in this video, we will be discussing the state of New Jersey and them passing a new concealed carry law, which will be likely signed into effect really soon. The bill we're going to be talking about in this video is A4769. This bill was introduced in direct response to the Supreme Court's recent ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin. This bill in New Jersey will change various aspects of the current New Jersey concealed carry permit process. This legislation will require gun owners who want to have a permit to get a liability insurance policy, and also will increase training course requirements as well. The bill will also increase permit fees. Then it creates more restrictive and sensitive locations within the state of New Jersey, and it has a list of additional sensitive locations. And then it will also pretty much have this catch-all provision where, like in the state of New York, any place will be off limits unless that business actually expressly tells you that you can conceal carry at that location. The state of New Jersey adopted a lot of laws that were recently passed in the state of New York in their Concealed Carry Improvement Act, or the CCIA law, and then the state of New Jersey went ahead and tweaked some things to make theirs a little bit more unique. Now, this bill is a response to the Supreme Court recently issuing its 6-3 decision in the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin case. For those not aware, the Bruin case was a challenge to the state of New York's concealed carry permit requirements. The state of New York required a person to provide proper cause to be issued a permit to carry concealed. At its core, the Bruin case was a challenge to the state of New York's may issue permitting system. The Supreme Court in Bruin ultimately found that the New York proper cause standard and the may issue schemes that they used were indeed a violation of the Second Amendment, and also they affirmed that the type of analysis that you need to use when looking at these Second Amendment cases is text as informed by relevant history and tradition. So the Bruin decision did multiple things. First, it outright struck down the use of may issue permitting schemes like the state of New York had, like the state of New Jersey has, and California has as well. And then also it went ahead and reaffirmed the appropriate type of analysis that you need to use when looking at Second Amendment cases. Text as informed by relevant history and tradition is the appropriate analysis. Now, after that decision, the state of New York and these other states like New Jersey had the option to go in and fix their laws to actually adhere to what the Supreme Court's recent ruling was. However, these states instead decided they wanted to flip a huge middle finger to the Supreme Court and instead pass some laws that were worse than the ones that existed even prior to that decision. And that's exactly what the state of New Jersey just did by passing this new bill. They created a scheme that does not adhere to what the Supreme Court said in Bruin and actually creates a scheme that is worse than the one that existed prior. So let's take a look at what the New Jersey bill actually does. I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty of this bill, but instead give you some major highlights and some of the main points that this bill actually does so that you understand what the state of New Jersey is trying to do when they put this law into effect. First, the law will drastically increase the cost of obtaining a carry permit and also purchase permits. The state of New Jersey requires permits to both purchase firearms and also to carry firearms. Purchase permits for handguns will go from $2 all the way up to $25 for that permit. For other firearms permits, the rate will go from $5 up to $50. Then the bill goes in and says that it wants to increase the fee for a carry permit to go, I believe, from $50 all the way up to $200, with the excess $150 going towards these programs to decrease crime within the state of New Jersey. And really what's likely going to happen is it's going to go into a slush fund and then likely be filtered to a bunch of anti-gun organizations. Then this bill increases the training course requirements for someone to be able to actually obtain a permit to carry concealed. It states that it will create online, in-person classroom requirements and also target shooting instruction requirements that you will need to go through that will be required for you to get that permit to carry. However, one of the most concerning requirements that this bill and this law will actually create is that to get a carry permit, to have a valid permit to carry concealed, you will need to obtain carry liability insurance. The bill states that every private citizen who carries a handgun in public in the state of New Jersey shall maintain liability insurance coverage, ensuring against loss resulting from liability imposed by law for bodily injury, death, property damage sustained by any person arising out of the ownership, maintenance, operation, or use of a firearm carried in public. then the law will actually require a specific amount of coverage. It states that it will require at least $100,000 for a single injury, single instance for a single person injury. Then it states $300,000 per instance for one or more people, and then at least $25,000 for damage to any property. So those are the requirements that they're going to require for you to have a liability insurance, to have some sort of protection, and that is going to be required for you to have that permit to carry concealed in the state of New Jersey. Based on this, the state of New Jersey will require an insurance coverage and an insurance policy so you can actually exercise your constitutional rights. And the reality is that this may not even really be possible at this time. I'm not aware of any type of insurance coverage that will actually provide this type of coverage. So it's going to be likely impossible unless you have some random insurance policy, some sort of insurance company that all of a sudden pops up because of this law and decides that they want to offer this type of coverage. Then the bill also states that law enforcement can review all of your social media posts to determine whether or not you are fit to actually be granted a permit to carry concealed. Now let's say you go through the whole application process, you do the training requirements, you pay your fees, you get your liability insurance, and you do all of the requirements. You obviously are good to go, right? Well, not really, not under this bill. Under this bill, it aims to essentially make your permit ultimately useless, even if you ultimately get one. It does this by adding in a list of sensitive places, aka gun-free zones. The list includes various locations like public buildings, parks, any place of entertainment, healthcare facilities, and ultimately any bar or restaurant that actually serves alcohol. But then the bill also goes in and adds in a catch-all provision similar to what we saw the state of New York do. The bill states that any private property, including but not limited to residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, institutional, or underdeveloped property, will be off limits unless the owner has provided express consent or has posted a sign indicating that it is permissible to carry on the premises a concealed carry handgun with a valid and lawfully issued license. So in New Jersey, even if you have a carry permit, you go through the application process, you still can't carry in a business or private property unless that location or that owner gives you express consent, or they ultimately put out a sign saying, yes, you can concealed carry at this location, which again is going to be very unlikely. It's not going to be likely that a lot of businesses are going to put out signs that say, yes, you can concealed carry at this location. And that is exactly what the state of New Jersey wants. New Jersey wants to create a more restrictive and burdensome application process for concealed carry permits, and ultimately make it so that your permit is useless even if you ultimately go through the process and get one. So that's a quick rundown of what the state of New Jersey is doing with their new concealed carry law that was just passed and is ultimately going to be signed. Now the next phase of this is going to be a legal battle. No doubt that there's going to be local and national gun organizations that decide to get together to sue the state of New Jersey and ultimately try to halt this law from going into effect. Because of this, I highly recommend that if you're in the state of New Jersey, that you will want to locate and get involved with your local organizations, reach out to them, join these organizations because they will be the ones trying to fight this battle to protect your rights in your own state. Also, look into joining more national organizations, GOA, FPC, other organizations that are likely going to get involved in this. So that's what's going on in the state of New Jersey. They've become the next state to outright defy the Supreme Court in that Bruin decision and ultimately trying to create a scheme that makes it concealed carry within their state next to impossible. So if we get any more information, I will let you all know. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Algor's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and signal to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of toy news. As always, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.